Here. Board Member Will Meyer.
Here.
Board Member, yeah, he's up there. Okay. Board Member Shayna Sackett Gable.
Here.
Board Member Dr. Kawhi Telford.
Here.
Board Member Aaron Vadlamani.
Here.
Board Member Caitlin Woodletter.
Here.
Student Representative Asa Glassman, Oliver Nesson.
All right, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which it stands, under God.
Please take notice that adequate notice of this meeting has been provided in the following manner. That written notice was sent from the Office of the Secretary of the Board at 2:30 p.m. on January 5th, 2024. That said notice was sent via email to Maplewood and South Orange Township clerks and the editors of the News Record, Star Ledger, Tappan Tusoma, and the Village Green. Let's move on. All right. Whereas while the Senator Byron M. Bear Open Public Meetings Act, NJSA 10:4-6, requires all meetings of the South Orange Maplewood Board of Education to be held in public, NJSA 10:4-12 sets forth 9 types of matters that may lawfully be discussed in executive session without the public being permitted to attend. And whereas the board has determined that one issue is permitted by NJSA 10:4-12 to be discussed without the public in attendance and shall be discussed during an executive session to be held on Thursday, December 19th, 2024 at 6:30 p.m. And whereas the 9 exceptions to open the public meetings outlined in NJSA 10:2-4 are listed below, and next to each exception is a box that will be marked when the issues to be privately discussed fall within that exception. And after each exception is a space where additional information that will disclose as much information about the discussion as possible without undermining the purpose of the exception shall be written. Any matter which by express provision of federal law, state statute, or rule of court shall be rendered confidential or excluded from public discussion, the nature of the matter described as specifically as possible without undermining the need for confidentiality is attorney-client privilege, HIP reporting, and personnel. Any collective bargaining agreement or the terms of conditions of which are proposed for inclusion in any collective bargaining agreement, including the negotiation of terms and conditions with employees or representatives of employees of that public body. Whereas the length of the executive session is estimated to be 45 minutes, after which the public meeting of the board shall shall adjourn or reconvene and proceed with business where formal action will be taken. Now, therefore, it be resolved that the South Orange Maplewood Board of Education will go into executive session for the above stated reasons only. And be it further resolved that the Board of Education board hereby declares that its discussion of the aforementioned subjects will be made public at a time when the public interest in disclosure is greater than any privacy or governmental interest in being protected from disclosure. Sorry. With that, I'd like to make a motion to go into closed session. And if I second, thank you, Board Member Callahan, second Gable. All in favor? All right, unanimous. Going into closed session.
Ready? 1, 2. Remember, play it twice. Martin Harold, Angel 6. Play it twice. Over. Ready? 1, 2. Address here, Angel. Ready? 1, 2, 3. We have a special guest, really quick, it's Joe Campbell, who graduated from Columbia last year. Full ride to DC. All right, Roger, what we got? We'll play it once. Play it once, guys. I got this. Really soft, really soft. First Noel, guys. Last one, first Noel, then we'll let you guys get down to business. So this is good one. Right. Yeah, sure. So just to let you know, this is the varsity orchestra. It's a combined orchestra between Psalms and MMS. We meet after school on Thursday for about an hour. We've only had 4 rehearsals so far this year. Wow. We sort of got going, so yeah. I would like to just add, because the board has helped us with this, and I don't come over to the board because you have enough things to deal with. The help of having the free summer camp was huge. How many of you guys did the summer camp this summer? Raise your hands high. Yeah, we are seeing such a huge difference in the freshman class this year and the classes behind because of that summer camp. We had 105 kids come last year. It was a huge deal. So I want to thank you guys for 3 years of the summer camp. That was a really big investment in us, and thank you. And Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy New Year. Good job.
Miss Jaya, you want to get a picture of them all? With the board? You want to get a picture of them all with the board?
Can I get a photo?
Hey guys, we're going to get a picture of all you. Run here if you
You all
can.
did amazing.
Yeah. Hey, how are you? Oh, no, I remember you.
I'd like to introduce Coach Winstead as we honor field hockey and girls volleyball.
I'm a little short, but this mic is short. Good evening, everyone. I would like to congratulate our field hockey team, girls field hockey team, for making an extraordinary season this year. They didn't finish first in our conference, but I believe they finished second in our conference. So. And I know this group started together their freshman year. They shared that they only won one game, I believe, their freshman year. So I'm new as the new athletic director, so I'm remembering history for a second. But this year they had a historical record because they won over 10 games. So that is a huge accomplishment. And I know the coaches are not here, but I would like to give a huge shout out to Coach Rivera. Oh, she's here? Oh, sorry, Coach Rivera. I didn't see her. Come on up, Coach Rivera. Yes, come on up. She also has a coaching staff of Coach Marissa, Coach Sumner, who's our girls basketball. Oh, he's here. Clap it up for him. And Coach Isabel. All right. And in addition to our coaches, you have to have student athlete leadership. They are the coaches on the field. They have a significant role on the field and off the field, and this role is distinguished. So we would like to recognize our student athlete captains, starting off with our junior varsity captains, who will now be varsity captains next year. Rebecca Weinfield. Fourier Scorfone. Sonia Lynch. These are our junior varsity captains. Now for our senior captains, Daisy Bennett. Charlotte, AKA Charlie Drexler. Campbell Cornell. Violet Jacobs. Anna Elise Van Varick. Thank you for being amazing leaders, student athletes for Columbia High School this season. And for girls volleyball, do we have any girls volleyball student athletes here? I believe there was a conflict this evening, so unfortunately they weren't able to make it. But I would like to give a shout out to Coach Juan and his coaching staff, because for girls volleyball, they went the furthest for Columbia High School in the state tournament. They beat Watchung Hills. We didn't make it to the finals, but we made it to the semifinals. It was a very competitive game. So thank you, Coach Juan, and our student athletes that participate on this year's girls volleyball varsity team.
always forget one.
All right, I'd like to make a motion for the approval of board meeting minutes for October 15th, 2024, the executive session and regular meeting minutes for November 20th, or special meeting minutes for November 20th, 2024, the executive session and regular meeting minutes for November 21st, 2024. Do I have a second? Second. All right. Thank you, Board Member Valmani and Board Member Callahan. All in favor? All right, looks unanimous. All right, we'll now move on to special board recognition and appreciation for board member service. So I'll start with you, Nubia. Yeah. Yeah. So the first board member we're going to honor will be Caitlin Whitletter.
Caitlin. It is an honor to recognize and celebrate the leadership and service of our former board president, Caitlin Whitletter. I have tissues in case I cry. I'm going to try not to. Caitlin, the board legacy you leave behind has a trail of successes, challenges, triumphs, and perseverance that continues to inspire me and many others today. Serving as your second vice president during my first year afforded me the privilege of witnessing your leadership behind the scenes. You were elected president at a time when the community demanded change, and you delivered on it. You led with the utmost integrity and demonstrated the relentless commitment and determination it takes to guide the board and drive meaningful progress. Your vision, paired with your tenacity, enabled the board and district to advance in critical areas that have brought us to where we are today. So let's review some of the highlights of your term. Reinstated regular municipal partnerships committee meetings, which greatly supported our efforts to increase transportation for elementary students. Advocated for changes to the ELA curriculum, which resulted in the district launching a new pilot program and adopting magnetic reading for grades K through 3, which brought focus to phonics in the early years. Added a business administrator update to our board meetings, which included ongoing updates on the long-range facility plan. The district conducted a long overdue hazardous route audit that resulted in a new policy with 12 hazardous routes identified. Under your leadership, Policy 8600 was revised to increase access to transportation, which serves to strengthen the Intentional Integration Initiative. Required that the district review and improve athletic coach training practices, which resulted in a district-wide sexual misconduct and harassment training plan for all coaches and activity leaders. To ensure compliance with the Black Parents Workshop settlement, created a Fergus Implementation Committee, now called Rutgers Report Implementation, to provide oversight around the more than 20 required recommendations. And the list goes on. Caitlin, you have done so much to champion the students of our district. If you ever question if you did enough during your tenure, I want you to remember that all students, no matter their background, benefited from your leadership. Hold your head up high. In addition to being proud to call you a board colleague, I'm proud to call you a friend. Thank you for all that you've done. I will miss you so much, and I'm excited for your next chapter.
Okay, thank you. What people don't know about me, but what my family knows very well is that these type of moments I have trouble getting through. So my goal is to get through this without crying. So good evening, everyone. As I prepare to step away from my role on the South Orange Maplewood Board of Education, I'm filled with both gratitude and and hope. I want to thank my family. Sorry, Greta, Nora, Thomas, and my husband, Eric. You've been on this journey with me through all the highs and lows. I don't know if I could be able to read this. Thank you for your patience, your big hugs, your words of encouragement. I'm so happy that you guys are here tonight. I love you so much. We love you. Thank you, Thomas. To my fellow board colleagues, past and present, it has been an honor to serve alongside you. Thank you for the hard work and dedication you've put towards making SOMSD better every day. Bill, Regina, and Nubia, your leadership and friendship have meant the world to me, and I am so grateful for each of you. I also want to thank Vanessa, Noah, Gwyneth, Asa, and now Oliver, our amazing student board representatives that I had the privilege of serving with over the past 3 years. As conduits to the student body, your presentation and updates have helped to shape board priorities and have helped make me a better board member. Thank you to Liana and Cassandra, who work in the superintendent's office, and to Keith and his technology team. You help make our meetings run smoothly, among so much more. I appreciate all of your hard work. I also want to extend my heartfelt thanks to our students and teachers. I am admittedly biased, but I truly believe that we have the most inspiring kids and teachers in this district, and their voices have been essential to our board work. And last but not least, thank you to the community. I have enjoyed building bridges of connection and partnership with you as we have worked hard to make progress in this district together. I have met so many incredible people during my time on the board, some of whom are here this evening, and I am truly grateful to you all. What has motivated me most over the past 3 years is the profound responsibility of ensuring that every child, whether in the classroom, in the cafeteria, on the soccer field, on stage performing, or on their way to and from school, has the resources and supports they need to thrive academically, socially, and emotionally. The weight of a child being underserved or not being seen, heard, or cared for is something that has weighed heavily on me, and I've worked hard to represent those needs throughout my term. I'll never forget one of my earliest board meetings where we heard a family's testimony advocating for transportation for their child. The discussion centered around a disagreement on 0.1 miles. That vote was a pivotal moment for me. It was a stark reminder that every decision we make as board members impacts a child's life. Suddenly, I felt like I went from having 3 of my own children I was responsible for to almost 7,000. That perspective guided me throughout my tenure, pushing me to advocate for every child as if they were my own. During my time on the board, we have accomplished many things that I am proud of. We introduced a phonics-based curriculum in our elementary schools, provided transportation to support the intentional integration initiative and to meet the needs of our district families. We followed through on some of the Rutgers recommendations to include the long outstanding introduction of INRS at our elementary schools. We passed policies that improve the student experience, and we have begun a period of rebuilding within this district. Someone once told me that serving on the Board of Education is about passing the baton. You work hard to keep the district moving forward and to leave it better than when you started. I believe we have done just that. The district is on an upward trajectory, and I am optimistic about the progress still to come. As we look to the future, my hope is that under new leadership, our district will establish clear and consistent operating procedures, foster open and transparent communication, build and engage in a thorough and transparent budget process, and most importantly, always put the best interests of students first. I hope that teachers and students will receive the support services that they need to excel, and that board agendas will align with the collective goals of our district's stakeholders. We have laid a foundation, but there is more to build. To our community, thank you for trusting me with this role. Your stories, your advocacy, and your passion have been the heart of my work. As I step away, I do so with immense pride in our kids and optimism for the future of our schools. Happy holidays to everyone here, and cheers to new and exciting beginnings in 2025.
Next, we'll honor First Vice President and Board Member Vadlamani.
All right. So as we bid farewell to my board colleague, First Vice President and friend, Arun Vadlamani, I want to take a moment to address you directly, Arun. It's truly an honor to speak about you tonight, but before I begin, just a friendly reminder, Arun, to please hold any objections until the end. So when I first sat down to reflect on what I wanted to say tonight, the answer came easily to me. I knew exactly what was going to resonate with you. So naturally, I started drafting an epic roast. But as it turns out, the tone we're aiming for tonight is a little bit different. And so instead, I'm going to save that for another time, and I'm going to focus on instead celebrating your incredible contributions here. All jokes aside, to know Arun is to know someone who's tenacious, opinionated, honest, yet incredibly warm, caring, and funny. Arun served during a period of tremendous, tumultuous times in our district, tackling challenges with his characteristic pragmatism and unwavering focus on creating a secure and stable environment for students, teachers, and administrators. As a new board member joining during this challenging time, I deeply appreciated Arun's guidance, direct approach, and that pragmatic problem solving. Arun has been an integral part of the FFT committee throughout his 3-year tenure, serving as the chair in both 2022 and 2024. In 2022, he also served on the policy committee and acted as a liaison to the Achieve Foundation and the Board of School Estimate. In 2023, Arun contributed to the BPW and OCR ad hoc committee, and in 2024, he served on the Personnel and Negotiations Committee while continuing as a liaison to the Board of School Estimate. His involvement across these roles reflects his dedication and his versatility in addressing our district's unique needs. Arun's ability to refocus on what truly matters, ensuring equity and maintaining a high expectations for all of our students, is a vision that we both share. And it was always evident in all the work that he did. This was evident in his steadfast centering of student achievement and outcomes during discussions in committees, his focus on stabilization and improvements for our largest school, Columbia High School, his advocacy for equitable playing fields, a new girls' locker room, and his advocacy for stabilizing and returning our high school principal. Arun played a pivotal role in the hiring of Superintendent Bing, and he served as first vice president this past year as part of a leadership team and board collective whose efforts have led to a noticeable improvement in board culture and the tone of our public discourse. His thoughtful contributions helped to steer our district towards greater collaboration, accountability, and information sharing, both internally and externally. It's been an honor to serve alongside Arun, nudging him when needed, engaging in spirited debates when we disagreed, but always being able to share a laugh afterwards. Arun's positive impact on our district will be felt for years to come. So on behalf of the board, our community, I extend my heartfelt thank you to Arun Vadlamani for his service and my very best wishes as he embarks on the next chapter, where I know he has a long to-do list and hopefully more time with his beautiful family. Thanks, Arun.
Too many things on the table here. Yeah. So thank you, Board Member Callahan. You know, as a new subscriber to the Instagram group of CHS Commits 2025, I see that our students have already broken all records for early admissions, receiving offers from prestigious colleges like Princeton, Brown, UPenn, that's pretty cool, Trinity, and Vanderbilt. I hope this hockey stick graph continues over the next few years. I would also love to see a decrease in chronic absenteeism, an increase in graduation rates, and an increase in all demographics taking the AP courses. I've been fortunate to work with these wonderful board members over the last 3 years in moving the needle forward for our children. And I look forward to our district being a positive force for all students. Public service is very rewarding, and I strongly recommend that everyone in our 2 towns participate. We can only improve when we're all working together, especially for our children. I wish the best to the students, teachers, administrators, the incoming and the continuing board members, and parents stay involved. Thanks.
And then our final board member service we're honoring is me, Kwawi Telesford.
Hey, so I have the honor this evening to pay tribute to a friend and colleague, Board President Dr. Kwawi Telesford. Kwawi, you have served with distinction on our Board of Education for the past 3 years. You have served on virtually every one of our committees, including FFT, C&I, Policy, and Personnel, as well as Negotiations, Data and Technology, Municipal Partnerships, Special Education, and Safety and Security Ad Hoc Committees, and the Board of School Estimate. And of course, you have served us as Board President for the 2024 Board. You came to our board as an alum of our school district and a proud graduate of Columbia High School, I believe the first Board President to have done so. And perhaps most notably, you have done all of this while bringing into the world 2 young children who will be part of the next generation of South Orange Maplewood students. You have brought to the board an intentional focus on data-driven decisions, placed priority on high expectations and achievement, and always demonstrated a strong commitment to the equitable education of all of our district students. As board president, you oversaw a time of significant transition in the district under the interim leadership of Dr. Gilbert and the hiring of Superintendent Bing, along with numerous other complex issues, including, of course, the reinstatement of our high school principal, Frank Sanchez. You have shown yourself to be a person of strong, unwavering principles, and you have left our board and district in a strong and growth-oriented posture. Your contributions will not go unnoticed, and we extend our deepest gratitude for your service to our community and our students, and we're sure you're not going to stop serving our towns. Thank you so much, Kwawi.
As I reflect on my board service over the past 3 years, I ask myself, what is the power of a board? The way I see it, a Board of Education does nothing to directly advance education of children, nor should it. We are not experts, and in my experience, when the board thinks it knows better than the educators who have spent decades devoted to educating our children, it only creates problems. So what is our power? Our power is to support this cadre of educators and administrators who have one goal, to improve student outcomes. When I joined the board, I had hopes of collaborating with my colleagues and our dedicated administrative team. Our focus was simple. We must improve the lives of all students in this district. Fast forward to today, I can attest to joining a board that was relatively stable and watching as it descended into chaos. That's when I realized the true power of a board. Beyond our good intentions, we can derail forward progress that affects all students. As I look at the important advances we've made in workforce diversity, student achievement in ELA, and increasing the accountability for educating our Black and brown students, I am thankful we retain Dr. Bean Folks, who continues to make substantial gains in student outcomes and equity for our students. I also tip my hat to the work of Ms. Bodner and Dr. Correa for their tireless efforts in advancing the conversations around student achievement. Decisions by the board are not what propel these efforts forward. It is their dedication that has reformed our IRNRS practices across the school district, better targeting our interventions of students facing challenges in classrooms, improving our ability to identify gifted students, and securing a data platform that will lead to further improvement for our students. These achievements remind me of the importance of stability, which unfortunately we've learned all too well through the follies of a board and how it can negatively affect our high school. When I was a student at CHS, we had 5 principals. That's right, 5. Reflecting on that time, I'm glad to see today Columbia is helmed by Frank Sanchez. Thinking about the last school year, I realized how close we came to seeing our high school slip into the old patterns of disarray. I'm not only happy to see Principal Sanchez receive tenure, but I'm also glad to attend the Building 1 New Jersey year-end celebration, where Principal Sanchez received the award for 2024 Public Servant of the Year. It was an honor to celebrate an educator who exemplifies courageous leadership, fearless advocacy, and a commitment to inclusive and equitable education. Again, I ask, what is the power of the board? It is to ensure that the actions of bad actors do not stymie the progress of our school district. This also underscores the immense power of a school board. While we can support growth, we also have the potential to thwart progress. That is a sobering reality and a responsibility we must never take lightly. I am also grateful for Dr. Gilbert, who stepped up when the district needed him most. His resolve and devotion to ensuring equity infuses every aspect of our district's work and serves as a testament to what we as a board and our community must continue to demand in every decision we make. I also want to thank my fellow board colleagues for the lessons I learned from them. Liz, you show me what it means to advocate fearlessly for equity. Some may call it being too equity-driven, but that's exactly what we need. Regina, you have taught me what it means to center students in our work and ensure that as part of every conversation. Nubia, you taught me the importance of communication and what is essential for reaching our community. Bill, you taught me what it means to be present and stepping up for a cause. Will, I appreciate the depth you take in approaching a topic, dissecting it thoroughly, and seeking to understand every voice with an eye toward the broader picture. Shayna, I think you embody everything that we need in a board member. One who has a wealth of experience, but knows exactly how to use that experience to enhance and support the great work being done in our district. And Caitlin, you taught me what it really means to galvanize a community. Finally, I want to thank you, Arun. A few years ago, we didn't know each other, and despite having completely different backgrounds and approaches, we often aligned on key topics. It reminds me of that age-old claim that many board candidates say that I'm an independent thinker, but you truly embody that. And I'm proud to call you a friend after our board service ends. I'm also grateful to have served alongside past board members like Susan Bergen, Thayer Joshua, Aaron Siders, Courtney Wingfield, and Johanna Wright. You all served during an incredibly challenging time in our district, but your leadership helped us navigate COVID, deliver one of the largest teacher salary increases in over a decade, and advance equity plans despite immense adversity. Being a board member has taught me that our most important responsibility is to think about every single student, especially the most vulnerable. It's not about appeasing the loudest voices or those with the resources to sue. It's about ensuring every student gets what they need to succeed. Our focus on equity isn't just rhetoric. It's about taking meaningful action, even when it makes people uncomfortable. Progress often does. Above all else, I want to thank my wife, who is truly the unelected member of our board. Our committee meetings become her committee meetings, and our long hours become her long hours. I'm deeply grateful for the time, dedication, and support she has given me every time I've sat down on this dais. While they call the school board a thankless job, I believe it's crucial to acknowledge that it is our spouses who endure the most for the advancement of our students. To my colleagues, students, educators in this community, thank you. Together, we've built something strong, and I'm proud to have been part of it. While the work may sometimes feel thankless, the true reward is seeing our students thrive. This has always been and will always be about them. Thank you. And we'll take a little brief break and we'll take some pictures, okay?
I'd like to begin by thanking Caitlin, Quali, and Arun for your service. Working with you guys has been a privilege, and you guys have been incredible role models for me to look up to, so thank you so much. The recognitions begin with Miss Danielle Patterson, teacher at Seth Boyden Elementary School. At Seth Boyden, Miss Danielle Patterson helped a group of 10 fourth grade students work together for a week to create a presentation about composting for the kindergarten classes. They split into 5 pairs, with each pair presenting to one of the 5 kindergarten classes. The fourth graders did a great job explaining how the school composts food scraps and why it's good for the environment. The kindergartners enjoyed learning about it and asked a lot of great questions. After the presentation, the fourth graders decided to take action. They made a plan to collect food scraps from the lunchroom and take them to the compost bin every day. Mrs. Patterson helped guide the students with their work. This project was a wonderful example of teamwork and helping the environment. The fourth grade students showed great leadership and made a positive impact at our school. Next, I'd like to recognize Columbia High School Chamber Choir and Mr. Nick Diaz. Congratulations to the CHS Chamber Choir and the music teacher, Mr. Nick Diaz, for performing at the South Orange Performing Arts Center with Broadway star Mandy Gonzalez this month. In her Home for the Holiday show at SOPAC, Mandy Gonzalez sang holiday carols and hit songs from Broadway musicals she's performed in, including Hamilton, Wicked, and In the Heights. We are proud of our high school's singers and appreciate the opportunity from Mandy Gonzalez to include our Columbia students as part of the experience. Next is Miss Ramesi Lawson, teacher at Seth Boyden Elementary School. Thank you to Miss Lawson from Seth Boyden Elementary School for leading the affinity group Mocha Matter. Your dedication to inclusivity, belonging, cultural competency, and diversity is unparalleled for students. Thank you for being a leader and an inspiration. Next, I'd like to recognize Dr. Donovan Smalls, the assistant principal at South Orange Middle School. Dr. Smalls from SOMS presented at the National Alliance of Black School Educators International Conference on Friday, November 22nd in Atlanta, Georgia. His presentation included strategies for other educators to navigate the dynamic challenges that come with educational leadership in schools. Next, I'd like to recognize Ms. Carrie Weibel, the Director of Access and Equity at the administrative offices. MMS and Seth Boyden are proud to recognize Ms. Carrie Weibel for her leadership in restorative circles training. Carrie's expertise and dedication have provided staff members with powerful tools to strengthen connections and foster a compassionate, inclusive school culture. Ms. Weibel organized an integrational learning experience with Principal Grinnell, 5 MMS 7th graders, and staff, highlighting student voice. Ms. Grinnell described it as an experience they won't soon forget. Her engaging presentations gave Seth Boyden and MMS staff with tools to strengthen connections and encourage restorative practices, which changes high school culture with empathy. Both schools expressed deep gratitude for her lasting impact. Next, I'd like to recognize the CHS New Jersey Honor Band. 7 students, musicians from Columbia High School have been selected as members of the 2024 to 2025 North Jersey Honor Bands. Their selection comes after months of diligent practice, and they aced their auditions on December 7th. Congratulations to Ryan Gaykowski, Emmett Simon, Theo Abbott for making the Wind Ensemble. Congratulations to Julian Cabriot, Luke Witt, Ella Levy, and Max Ginsberg for being selected for the symphonic band. William Wheeler, a brilliant mallet percussion player, also did amazingly. Last, I'd like to recognize Chinese Honor Society. Congratulations to the CHS Chinese Honor Society treasurer, Sherry Chen, for winning the President's Service Award from the New Jersey Chinese Teachers Association this month. She was nominated by her teacher, Miss Meng, who also received the New Jersey Chinese Teachers Association's Educator of the Year Award.
Hi everyone, I hope your holiday season is going well. Asa and I have met with administrators and board members over the past month to discuss various solutions to issues in the district and future goals. AI is one topic that has come up multiple times, and the student reps and administrators are in agreement that it is a tool that is here to stay. We have discussed possible uses in the classroom, both by teachers and students, and are excited about the opportunities that will be fulfilled through this growing technology. That being said, there are guidelines needed to protect the structure of education, and policies created will ensure that these guidelines are followed and that the technology is not abused. Along with this, education on digital literacy and safe usage of artificial intelligence will ensure its success. Since the last board meeting, security coverage at Columbia has improved, and IDs are now being checked consistently at all entrances to the building. However, we are still pushing to get scanners reinstalled at the entrances to maximize security. We have continued discussions on priorities of guidance, especially in the middle schools, where we discussed having all incoming sixth graders meet with their counselors one-on-one at least once, helping them build a strong relationship with counselors and prepare for a successful transition. Finally, I want to congratulate board members Arun, Kwawi, and Caitlin on their final meetings with the board. I recognize and deeply appreciate the immense work that all of you have put into improving this district. Those are all of the student remarks for the December meeting. Thank you and happy holidays.
Now we'll have the superintendent's update.
Evening, all. I do want to wish everybody a happy holidays. We talked about this with our senior leadership team this week. When you reflect, it is an everyday gift to work with people who deeply care about what they're doing and also care about our community's children, which to me is the greatest asset. So I want to wish happy holidays to everyone in our district, our communities, especially our students. Big thanks to our CHS reps. It's been a pleasure working with you guys. I look forward to it in the new year. Our teachers, our support staff, our administrators, you name them, from day one, they have welcomed me with open arms, and I cannot be more thankful or grateful for that. So personally, that makes for a very good holiday season for myself. So big thanks for this to this community and all its stakeholders. I do want to thank our 3 outgoing, I don't want to use this word just to remind everybody, volunteers. They volunteer to do this work, to dedicate hours a week to come to our board meetings, to advocate for our children, to fight for issues when they need to be fought for, not only at a local level, also at a state level, and also as a federal level. This is going on my 15th year as a superintendent. This is one of the more difficult positions you will hold in a community, and it takes a lot of courage. It also takes a lot of kindness, and it takes an effort often to be collaborative. I can say with all honesty, from my first day in here, I have been greeted with kindness, civil discourse, and support. I could not have asked for anything more, especially from these 3 individuals. If I could have drawn out exactly how I wanted my entry into a school district, it would have been this. So, and I know these 3 have it's due in large part to these 3. So I thank you very, very, very much. Very quickly, I do want to thank the public. Our budget advisory committee applications, our window closes, I think, today or tomorrow. We have over 100 applicants. So we'll be going over those over the next week or so, and so excited that individuals are going to take the time out of their schedules to help with our budget. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I do also want to just read a memo that we just put out in regards to the recent shooting in Madison, Wisconsin. Dear district families, the recent tragedy at Abundant Life Christian School in Wisconsin has affected many of us, and our hearts go out to the families, loved ones, and survivors grappling with unimaginable loss this week. Events like this shake us to our core, reminding us of the importance of our children's safety and well-being. Please be rest assured that the safety and security of our students and staff remain our top priority. Our district continually reviews and strengthens safety protocols to maintain a secure environment for everyone. As we move into the long-range facility planning, a high focus will be placed on safety and security. In the new year, please be on the lookout for the long-range facility planning survey that will be shared with you. Your input is invaluable. Guardians and caretakers should also be aware of the district's emergency situation guidelines for parents and guardians regarding emergency preparedness, and from our safety and security offices. Big thanks to Stanley Vallis. In the event of an emergency, South Orange Maplewood School District will provide clear communication protocols that ensure timely, accurate, and reliable information is shared with parents, first responders, staff, and the community during and after an emergency. We do recognize that events like this can affect students emotionally, even from a distance. We encourage you to talk to your children about their emotions and reassure them of the measures we have in place to keep them safe. Please contact your child's school if you feel additional support is needed to support them through this tragic event. For additional support, please see the Talking to Children About Violence Tips for Families and Educators resource that we provided via email this week. I promise you that we remain committed to fostering a safe and supportive environment where all students can thrive. Thank you for your continued support, and I know the board thanks you for all of your support. Have a very, very happy holiday.
Thank you. Next, we'll have our business administrators update, and that'll include a construction update. And this is our first regular board meeting for Mr. Imani Moody, so welcome.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Appreciate that. South Orange Maplewood School District construction update. Let's start with Seth Boyden School. Epic management closeout items to be addressed by APS. We also have final architectural punch list re-inspections that were issued, and APS is addressing a handful of items. There's a final change order review meeting, and it's being conducted with Spiesel, Epic, and APS. That's Seth Boyden. Tuscan School. Epic management closeout items to be addressed by APS. Final architectural punch list re-inspections were issued, and APS is addressing a handful of items. Final change order review meetings are being conducted, and Spiesel, Epic, APS are included, and that's Tuscan School. Next, Marshall School. The boilers are operational, however, control wiring work is being finalized. BMS system programming to be completed. BMS is a building management system. Architectural punch list items are also to be completed. Next up, Montrose School. The boilers are operational, however, they're still working on some operational issues. The building management system programming is to be completed. The architectural punch list is also to be completed. Finally, Columbia High School. This is a longer list. The D wing, the new science rooms, finishes are ongoing. Also on the D ring, laboratory casework and plumbing is completed. A wing second floor, floor underlayment completed. Rooms in B wing are also completed. Setting of VUV, the vertical upright vents, is completed. Piping for several remaining rooms to be worked on during the Christmas break, and that's ongoing. New boilers at D and B are on. Controls wiring is ongoing. Awaiting an IP drops to complete work. Media Center, working on casework and installation of lighting. Media Center, completed framing walls and sheetrock, and also installing hard ceilings. Painting is underway. Commons area railings are completed. Sound panels completed. Furniture installation is underway. Common area wall panels are installed. Started carpet, rubber, and vinyl floors completed. Commons area painting completed. Roofs, coating is underway at B wing areas, and that's continuing. A wing, science room work is underway. Wall framing and sheetrock is underway. Abatement of existing guidance is completed. Began demolition of old HVAC system, installation of new cassette units underway. D-ring rough HVAC, piping, and ductwork installation controls are completed, awaiting on IP address to be provided to complete D-wing. Inspections underway as required. Rooms adjacent to the media center were completed. IT to make reconnections, office floor completed. Auxiliary gym and roof parapet wall coating completed. New ramp area entrance to media center completed, railing completed. Completed sidewalk restoration in courtyard area, and also paving an existing teacher's parking lot by the big gym. On to Maplewood Middle School. Boiler room continued troubleshooting the low water cutoff shutdowns and continued insulating piping. The repaired distribution piping, steamed leaks, open system isolation valves, and troubleshooting existing conditions. Continued steam pipe insulation in classrooms, continued installation of thermostatic valves or radiators throughout the building. Continued routing and connecting of VUV first and second floor AC condensate lines. Started up all 39 VUVs. Addressing PA system add-ons and punch list, i.e. the clocks. All gender restrooms completed and final inspections underway. Privacy room on the first floor needs waste line connected for final inspections. Balanced, 50% completed. UVs and Bennett will provide documentation once completed. ATS, building automation systems, wiring for field equipment continues. Continued coating of the auditorium roof, completion delayed by temperature, rain, and dew. The replacement of 2 smaller flat roofs is nearing completion. Started planning for the electrical switchover of legacy loads, looking to perform switchover during the winter break, starting on Monday, the 23rd of December. South Orange Maplewood Middle School electric service Bennett. We need to continue installing overhead conduits on second shift. We'll shift to normal working hours during winter break. Otto and Bennett coordinate taking down the ceilings over the break for overhead duct measurements. Bennett to block off 1 window for running 7 conduits to exterior switchboard. Due to the revised delivery date of the late December, Bennett's now targeting completion by the end of January. And finally, South Orange Middle School, waiting for the building permit, should be issued in the next week. We set up site trailers, starting demolition for 2 new bathrooms and ordering materials. And that completes the construction update.
All right, we'll move into the board president's update, which I think I already read my speech, so that's my update. I'll move into the board president's statement. The school board meeting is a business meeting in public and not a meeting with the public. Oftentimes, it may appear to members of our audience that the Board of Education takes action with very little comment and in many cases, a unanimous vote. Before a matter is placed on the agenda at a public meeting, the administration has thoroughly reviewed the matter with the superintendent. If the superintendent is satisfied that the matter is ready to be presented to the Board of Education, it is then referred to the appropriate board committee. The members of the board committee work with the administration and the superintendent to ensure that the members fully understand the matter. After the committee discusses the matter, it is then shared with the other board members for consideration. Only then is it placed on the agenda for board discussion and action at a public meeting. Next, we'll have our hearing of individuals and delegations. Thank you for coming in person and dialing in by phone this evening. The South Orange Maplewood Board of Education certainly respects that you've taken the time out of your busy day to address the board at tonight's meeting. We value public involvement in our school district, and we are eager to hear what you have to say. The board does have time limits by policy, and it will be enforcing those to enable as many people to speak as possible this evening. Each individual will be given 3 minutes to speak. Please do your best to stay within the time afforded to you. The first public comment period is usually limited to 1 hour, and the second public comment period may be limited to 30 minutes. All input shared with the Board of Education is taken very seriously and will inform future deliberations and work by the Board of Education and its committees. First, I'd like to invite Nicole Jassy.
Hello, okay. Good evening. My name is Nicole Josie. I'm co-president of President's Council, mom of 2, one who attends Psalms and one who is out of district. I'm here speaking on behalf of any parent that has had similar out-of-district transportation issues as myself. On September 9th, my son was left at school for an hour after dismissal. On November 27th, my son was left at school for almost 2 hours after dismissal. And on Friday, December the 13th, my son was attacked by an 18-year-old student on his van on the way to school. My son is 8 years old. When I received that devastating phone call, I left in the middle of my work conference to run to my son's school. These are just 3 very specific events. We have been through 5 bus drivers, 3 bus aides, 2 early pickups, very late pickups, unprofessional staff, and an unprofessional owner. I have written countless emails, gone to meetings, took off of work to transport my son myself and my husband, and the list goes on. My ask has been simple. We want another bus company. Nothing has been done, and what that shows me is that this school district does not value my son or his safety. As his mother, that is unacceptable. I refuse to sit aside and watch as my son and other kids like him are treated without regard. Let me remind you of the stories of other school districts who decided to go with substandard bus companies, where children were left in parking lots, injured, and even worse, died. You guys spend so much time counting dollars and cents, which you have not been successful in, or else we wouldn't have been in a deficit last year. I have spent the last 7 years of my life volunteering on various PTA boards, CPAC, etc., partnering with the district, believing in the best of this district. But this district is failing my family and families like mine. My son may be an ID number to you, but to me, he is my world. I feel like nothing will be done until something happens to him, and I refuse to let it get to that point. I will continue to push against this third-party process you use in vetting bus companies. I will not be quiet about this, because if it is affecting me, then it is affecting other families in our district. This district's inability to provide him with the education he deserves is not his fault. The least you can do is transport him to a school that can, safely, without me having to worry as his mother every day. Thank you.
Next, we have Richard Fishbein.
Test, test. Hi, everyone. I'm Richard Fishbein from South Orange. I'm here about Underhill, the plan to lock the general public out of the entire sports complex during school days from 8:8 to 3 p. I believe this plan is due to go into effect within the next week and a half or so. If this plan is implemented, it will be a real shame. A lot of people use the track, the running track, during school hours, runners and walkers, a lot of senior citizens. It's the safest place for us to walk and run. And school hours is the safest time for us to be on the track. There's this story that people using the track have been confronting and harassing students and staff from the Clinton School when they used the turf field for gym class, for phys ed class. When did that ever happen? It has never happened. I did hear about one episode earlier this year when a school administrator from Clinton walked over to the field while phys ed class was going on the turf, and she saw a walker walking on the track, and she ordered the runner off the track. And the guy was told, you can't be on the track because there's children on the field. It's too dangerous for them. This is a plan. Why has this plan been made? To me, it seems like it's a solution in search of a problem. People have been using the track during school hours for at least 40 years. I know that from personal experience, and probably they've been using it during school hours for decades before that. What I'd like to know is, what were the people who developed and approved this plan thinking? Can you, the school board, please provide some oversight on this matter? Thank you.
Next, we have Yaakov Scheinfeld.
Board of Education. First of all, I would like to open my 3 minutes with an apology. I was here about a month ago, and some members were frightened by me. It was not my intention, never has been, and I'm not a violent person. I apologize. I really do. But the gravity of the situation is such that it's incomprehensible to me that in our school district, such things like what happened to my daughter happened. So after this brief, if I'm allowed to read from the paper, because when I don't, I go over the 3 minutes. So I would like to read. And I have some things I'm going to leave on the table if I'm allowed. Am I allowed? Yeah? Okay. Board of Education, I apologize for making some board members threatened by me. It was not my intention at all. My only aim is for you to understand the full impact of some of your policies. I know of at least 3 students from Columbia High School who committed suicide. I mean died, yes? Am I clear about that? Who committed suicide at different stages of the transgender ideology that took over our school district. This awful journey. I lost Sophia. And I'd like you to allow me to show some pictures of her, my dear Sophia, so that you attach a face to her. I'm sorry, I'm going to try not to lose my temper. This was Sophia. I'd like to see her. She was 27. I loved her very much, we all did. But at age 17, she started this journey. Another picture of Sophia. Does she look like a man to you? This is where Sophia is now. She's dead. This is very hard for me. If anyone cares, this is her death certificate.
Mr. Scheinfeld, your time is up, but I'll give you another 30 seconds.
Huh?
Your time is up, but I want to give you another 30 seconds.
30 seconds. Yeah. Thank you for telling me. I would ask you to read this amazing book that I brought here. It's written by one of the most amazing authors in the United States. Irreversible Damage, The Transgender Craze Seducing Our Daughters, Abigail Shrier. Because I can't talk enough about it. I'm not an expert. I am a grieving father. That's all I am. I would ask you to read this amazing, accurate book that describes what is really going on in our schools and the country we all love. I wish for you to read it. I beg you to read it. The Board of Ed has managed somehow to bring a Trojan horse into the school. And when I say it, I mean it. I'm not here to threaten anyone. I'm the last person who is at all.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Scheinfeld.
But I lost a child that adopted this ideology in this building 300 yards from here.
Okay. Thank you, Mr.
It was
Scheinfeld.
not, give me 1 second. Please.
Yeah, just finish your last sentence then.
Thank you,
Yeah.
thank you, thank you. I have a little more to say, but all I'm going to say is, remember, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. So, I have more to say.
Sorry, Mr. Scheinfeld, but
I would like to meet all of you for like half an hour with experts, but I'm not going to do that now because I ran my 3 minutes.
all right. Thank you, Mr. Scheinfeld. Now I'd like to call up Rocio Lopez.
Rocio Lopez, Somaya President, South Orange Maplewood School District. Hell, you see, I don't even know what I'm saying. I'm sorry, I just got a little bit off with what just happened. Columbia High School teacher, Maplewood resident. I'm just here today to give you farewell to the 3 people that you have been serving on the board. I know as Somaya leader, we have to have moments where we have ups and downs. It's the nature of the job, but I would like to thank you as a community member for your service. The service that you do is for free. People should know it's volunteer. Sometimes we might agree, sometimes we might disagree, but at the end of the day, the point is that we're all here trying to get the same job, to have the best school district that we can, right? So we bought you a little present from Somaya for all of you. We got you shirts because, you know, this year we don't have so much money, but it doesn't mean that we can't do it. I'd rather you pick the sizes, and I'm gonna let Arun pick the first, because remember the last time what happened last year with the sweaters, that you told me they give you the biggest one or something? So you pick the first. For the holidays, so of course, happy holidays, and we wish you a new happy year. We have a little something for the super. Ah, he thought we weren't gonna bring anything. Hopefully you use it once we get a contract. It's just champagne, that's why. And I have a little present for a board member that did something very special for us. She actually listened to us when we needed the most. We were suffering, and I don't know if we were being believed, but we needed a change, and you made it for us. So Kaylin, thank you so much. We brought you some answers. You are allowed in 1 week, I believe. I don't know, you have to ask. You have your own rules, so I don't know. But I hope you can wear your Somaya shirts at least one day, even if you call it Somaya Day for the board or something, because they're pretty comfy. If not, you can always use it for pajamas, okay? But we wanted to have a little something for you because at the end of the day, in times like these, like holidays, it's all about us coming back and being human and forgetting a little bit about the work that we have to do. Every person has good on them, and they do the things for the right reasons. And even if we disagree, we have moments, you know, I thank you all for putting the time for the kids. Okay, thank you. Have a good one.
All right. Now we'll do our committee reports.
All right. I'm going to start with our Special Services Committee. We met on December 17th. We began at 6:30. We adjourned at 9:10. It was myself, Board Member Meyer and Whitletter, Superintendent Bing, Dr. Gilbert, and Mrs. Jess Maria were all in attendance. Prior to the meeting on December 12th, I sent a meeting reminder and a request for any questions with a link to our internal tracker to the full board. And earlier today, because of the tight turnaround, I made sure to send the notes out to the full board as well. So we started our meeting with a check-in with the CPAC representative. This month, we talked about feedback, positive feedback from our Inclusive Schools Week, where videos showing and sharing about disability awareness were shown. There was a positive impact in some empathetic conversations afterwards. We also addressed concerns about culture and climate impacts in the middle school on inclusion. We provided an update on compensatory service and pull-out replacement at South Mountain School, and we had a discussion about public notice for resolutions and policies. This month, our committee was lucky enough to welcome our Director of Early Childhood Education, Mr. Johnson. As we have moved into becoming a pre-K through 12 district, and as a parent of one of those pre-K students, I want to recognize the importance of hearing about our pre-K program as it grows and develops. So Mr. Johnson provided an overview which included the structured process for registration and placement, our commitment to curriculum fidelity with tools of the mind, intervention systems to support all students, including those with disabilities. We discussed how the program is growing, capacity, how they plan out for inclusion classrooms for our students with IEPs, and their proactive approach to referrals and training. They also, earlier this month, had an NJDOE monitor, which highlighted that we do, in fact, have strong fidelity to the curriculum that we are using and indicated that we should be proud of our pre-K program. So congrats to the pre-K team. It was really exciting to hear from them. This month, we also centered our topics around district goal number 1, which centers college and career readiness. And for the purposes of special education, we are highlighting work being done regarding paraprofessionals and professional development for staff. So we talked through the on-site ESS representative, Ms. Agula, who is working closely with supervisors like Ms. Puntinieri, regularly visiting schools and classrooms to address concerns or training and management issues with paraprofessionals. This ongoing effort aims to improve our engagement and support of paraprofessionals across the district. And as we implement new processes for paraprofessional assignment and tracking, the goal is to take a data-driven approach that ensures students' needs are met while fostering greater independence. So it's important to note that this does not involve wholesale removal of paraprofessionals, but rather reflecting a shift towards that improved data-based monitoring, having conversations and looking at trends, and really likely that one-to-one paraprofessionals would shift to support based on a shared paraprofessional instead. The second thing we reviewed was going through a goal around standard operating procedures. So the goal is that by June, it will be under development, and we had one of our quarterly progress check-ins around that. In January, we will review a draft that will include things like the general referral process, compliance, timelines, expectations for parents. And additionally, we are using the special services audit to drive our professional development planning, and we'll be reviewing that in January as well, with a focus on addressing behavior issues and co-teaching strategies. Collaborations are also underway to schedule Dr. Ross Green for professional development with training for principals and our MTSS teams, and discussing the potential for grant funding through the Achieve Foundation, which is very exciting. We talked through and got an update on our corrective action plan derived from federal monitoring, which focused on progress in addressing our areas of noncompliance. A professional development session with Mrs. Spear, who's the federal monitor, was rescheduled for January after her December visit was canceled. So she will conduct 4 training sessions over 2 days in mid-January. And we are working on the necessary documentation for the remaining areas of noncompliance and planning for her return. Finally, we had a robust discussion that focused on inclusion classrooms, evidence-based reading practices, and academic interventions. We explored how upcoming changes will be clearly articulated with a comprehensive scope and sequence that includes professional development, training, staffing models, and other key components to ensure clarity of implementation. This will help to establish clear goals for special services and ensure that both the board and the community are well-informed and aligned as we move forward with those changes. And then lastly, as we shared and passed last month, the district has moved forward with a long-anticipated and advocated for need, the expansion of programming to meet the support needs of our students with emotional regulation impairments in our district. Following this, meetings were held with both CPAC's president, Beth Cosentino, and the parents of students in the ERI program, and those were attended by myself, Mr. Bing, and Ms. Maria. These discussions were highly productive, and we deeply appreciate the advocacy, openness, and collaborative spirit that was shared by all participants as we work to expand the program offerings for students. We also want to, again, acknowledge the invaluable work of Mr. Wocio in laying a strong foundation and creating a safe, supportive learning environment for students and families, and look forward to continuing these productive partnerships and expanding the program with our new highly experienced ERI teacher for the students and families in our district who will benefit from it. Our next meeting is TBD for January 2025, and at this time I turn it over to the board for any questions they might have. Going once, twice. All right, thank you.
All right. First, I'd like to extend a warm welcome to our new business administrator, Mr. Moody. Already 2 meetings, right, back to back, to kick off your tenure here. The Personnel Committee met on Monday, December 16th. In attendance were board members Deval Wilson, Badlamani, and myself, alongside Mr. Bing, Mr. Adedoyan, and Dr. Gilbert. As usual, much of what was discussed is confidential. However, you can read the public-facing information on the website for any updates. A couple of things I just wanted to highlight. We did review, as usual, the vacancy information. We did have a conversation around leave replacements. And, you know, one of our board members came to me with a question around the recruiting process specific to staff members going on planned longer-term leaves. These leave replacement vacancies tend to be a pretty decent percentage of the overall number, oftentimes more than half of them. And it's a little bit of a crossover into CNI, but while the committee understands that these positions are harder to fill as their length often varies, there were some concerns around the lack of proactive communications to students and parents to really help them understand the coverage and instructional plan. So the committee requested that HR work with CNI to establish a process for notifying students and families around teacher leaves and the coverage and instructional plans moving forward. Mr. Adedoyan provided an update on the 5-year workforce diversity plan, which he also discussed at last night's Rutgers Implementation Committee meeting. We reviewed data provided by CNI regarding staff performance evaluations and status. At this time, the committee is not overly concerned, however, reinforced the importance of working with a building administration to staying on schedule to meet the deadlines, especially in consideration of some of the points we lost in the recent CUSAC audit. Mr. Adedoyan led the continued conversation around allowing new teachers to have their child or children attend SOMSD schools as a recruiting tool. Both Dr. Gilbert and Mr. Adedoyan believe this can help fill some tough positions, bring in more teachers of color based on the feedback they've received. As a next step, the committee is open to furthering discussions. However, we really need to understand what that financial impact is. And Dr. Gilbert and Mr. Adedoyan will be working with the BA office to put together an analysis for hopefully our next committee meeting. Next meeting date is TBD as we await to finalize the 2025 committees with the incoming board members. Any questions? All right. Thank you.
The FFT committee met on December 11th, and everyone was there, and a warm welcome to the business and a fully filled business office, Mr. Moody, and the assistant BA, Mr. Zabiega. So first, I want to talk about a very important information for current 8th grade parents and students. All students will have to re-register for 9th grade, beginning in spring of 2025. This is a best practice across many districts like ours. So just know that you'll be getting more information starting, January, February, or September. The second thing is MMS will have a partial roof replacement. This is outside of the long-range facilities plan. And this is the right thing to do because the rest of the roof is being built anyway, and it'll, work well for the next 20 years. The money will come from the maintenance reserve. The board was presented with a preliminary budget calendar. We will be looking at that, and we'll have to kind of follow up with that. We have finally arrived in the 21st century, and we now have electronic pay stubs for all staff. And just quoting Mr. Bing, we're thrilled to announce a new innovative step forward in streamlining our payroll process, starting with the next pay cycle on Jan 15th. And the district will begin offering electronic pay stubs, which is good. It's good. Yeah. All detailed minutes are available on the website, so please go there to check out everything else that I have not mentioned here. Thanks. And questions?
Stepping in for Policy Chair Will Myers. The Policy and Governance Committee met on Tuesday, December 3rd. In attendance was board members Meyer, Gifford, Sackett, Gable, and Whitletter, in addition to Superintendent Bing, Ms. Gusamaria, and Dr. Gilbert. Up for second read tonight is Policy 8420 on emergency and crisis situations. As noted in our last meeting, this policy puts into place numerous statutory protections for students with disabilities and other circumstances during security drills. We also included within this policy several additional protections of our own, including notification at the beginning of the drill, intentional protections for students caught in hallways or other areas outside of the classroom during a drill, an opportunity after the drill for students to debrief with their teacher, and ample explanation of the nature of a drill to parents so that they can discuss the drill with their children. The committee addressed updated policy language for school volunteers and athletic coaches to ensure adequate oversight and training, as well as proposed policy on acceptable use of generative artificial intelligence, policies that are being reviewed in other committees now. The board discussed the adoption of an updated policy 4217 on corporal punishment restrictions for support staff to align with the language in policy 3217 regarding corporal punishment restrictions on teachers, and that will be reviewed by the personnel committee. Finally, the board discussed the ongoing development of governance handbook for our board, as well as adoption procedures to streamline the efficiency of board operations and board meetings. Additional information on all of these is available, as always, in our minutes on the website. Okay, I think we're good.
Okay, so the C&I Committee, Curriculum and Instruction, met on Tuesday, December 10th at 5:30 p.m. And I was there along with board members Callahan, Gifford, our administrative liaisons, Mr. Bing, Ms. Bodner, Dr. Correa, Dr. Gilbert, Ms. Wabel, and I think that was it for this month. We centered our conversations around our district goals, 1, 2, and 4, that are related to C&I. Most notably, and again, all of the notes are on the district website, but just want to highlight that we had a comprehensive presentation from Mr. Sanchez and Ms. Banner, who I noticed is up for a new position tonight as CHS assistant principal. So they presented on student attendance interventions that have successfully reduced student cuts of classes, also known as hall wandering, which is more of an accurate description. So they shared a lot of insight. It was a very thorough presentation, and it is linked in the minutes. As I shared last month, to promote transparency and accountability, the district shared a month-by-month timeline of actions related to the CHS schedule, which we review in C&I regularly as part of our oversight role and report out. So for December, the district successfully completed the scheduled actions of 2 of them. The program of studies is on track to being finalized this month, and supervisors are examining class size reports and determining best ways to promote current classes that have low enrollment. And we, as far as policy goes, we had a robust discussion about the AI policy that Board Member Gifford mentioned, and it was great to have input from Oliver. Thank you for attending, and hopefully Asa, at some point you'll be able to join us too. But it was a great discussion, and Oliver, having your insight really reminded us that when we develop these policies and we talk about teachers and all of the educators, right, bringing information to students, that oftentimes students are ahead of the adults and can often be the teachers when it comes to AI use and tech use in the classroom. So thank you. And I just want to thank the C&I committee for a productive year, and I look forward to seeing how the work continues to progress in 2025. Thank you. Any questions?
All right, now we'll move on to the action portion of the meeting.
All right, board members, I have the following resolutions for consideration. Resolutions 4696 through 4707. We're now in discussion on these items. Are there any severs? No. Okay.
Board Member Callahan? Okay. Board Member Valimani?
So I'll first start with a disclaimer. I'm not speaking on behalf of the board, only the board president can. And I want to bring to attention personal resolution 4696G as in golf. We cannot take names as a personal matter. Still, I'm pleased to see that this particular teacher returns from administrative leave. It has been a while to right a wrong, at least in my opinion, but the arc has been bent correctly. I hope that all involved in this matter resolve differences as soon as possible, and the teacher can return to positively impacting the children again.
Board Member Callahan?
Yeah, I wanted to highlight Resolution 4707, which is the commencement of social media litigation for the 2024-2025 school year. By voting yes tonight on this resolution, our district will join over 800 school districts across the nation in supporting a lawsuit against social media companies like Facebook and TikTok. These platforms have contributed to a growing mental health crisis among kids and teenagers, marked by rising levels of anxiety, depression, thoughts of self-harm, and the toll of social media extends beyond just mental health, but it contributes to lower academic performance, increased school avoidance, higher rates of substance abuse, and behavioral issues. And these challenges strain our resources and hinder our ability to fulfill our educational mission. As an educator, I see those detrimental impacts that the research bears out firsthand, and I'm deeply committed to advocating on this issue, not just professionally, but as a parent and a board member. Locally, we've seen significant momentum and parent-led advocacy around addressing this crisis, including efforts by Team Unscreen and discussions here on the Board of Education. Our district has also taken proactive measures like piloting the Yonder program at Maplewood Middle School to minimize distractions and negative impact of social media and students' social emotional well-being in the learning environment. I have and will continue to advocate for strengthening our policies and implementation of cell phone policies throughout the district. This lawsuit represents an opportunity for us to join in holding social media companies accountable for prioritizing profits over the welfare of kids. By participating, we advocate for systemic change to protect students and reaffirm our commitment to fostering a safe, healthy, and focused learning environment. I am proud to support this resolution, and I urge my colleagues to do the same tonight. Thank you.
All right, I guess we'll close discussion and move to vote.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, it looks like the ayes have it. What's that? Oh, yeah, we're on to that next, yeah. Also, thank you, we have a hand carry resolution that I'll pass around.
We can't discuss this matter, so I guess we'll just go straight to a vote.
Yes.
Member Duval Wilson,
Yes.
Board Member Eckert,
Yes.
Board Member Gifford,
Yes.
Board Member Meyer, Board Member Sackett Gable,
Yes.
Board President Telesford,
Yes.
Board Member Vadlamani,
Yes.
Board Member Whitletter.
Yes.
All right, the ayes have it.
Okay, now we'll move on to our second hearing of individuals and delegations. All right, now we'll move on to new business. Anyone have any? Wait, one more? Oh, okay, come on up. Wait. I'd like to call Khadijah White. I'm sorry, Dr. White.
Is it on, yeah? Okay, so first, like policy 8420 sucks, kind of, guys. I mean, I don't like coming here too often because I feel like there's this like weird woke, anti-woke thing going on in the US, and I'm on the wrong woke-ish side of it. But I will say that like those policies should be led not just by like law enforcement, but they should also be led by like school psychologists, social workers, nurses, teachers, and parents and students. And there was a commitment from the board several years back that parents and students and teachers would be involved with security stuff going on in the district. Because when we weren't, there were kids who were afraid to go to the water fountains. There were kids who were afraid to go to the bathroom. There were kids who were going to the doctors because they had headaches. They weren't drinking all day because they were afraid of the drills. And the board didn't know it. And the only time they knew it was when parents had to start coming. So that was why the was supposed to involve us. That was why there's supposed to be a team effort and community as a partnership in that policy. To see it be taken out is surprising to me, especially because I think all of you have run on involving parents and teachers and community members more in these kinds of things. And there's basic stuff like Texas, California,
New York, like places that actually have shootings, like Florida and Parkland, they give advance notice because they know that parents will see police officers outside of schools and get afraid, that kids will see police officers during drills and get afraid. So like there's some like common sense stuff. Superintendent Bing, today you mentioned the National Association of School Psychologists in your piece. They have a lot of directives. One of them is like not mandating the drills. They're suggesting to give advance notice. So I feel like there's a piece missing, and I hope that I'm not too woke to suggest that or recommend that for the future, and I hope that despite my wokishness, you guys will take advantage of people who have like expert opinions. Okay, so that's aside. I'm gonna take a little, hopefully you won't kick me out, I'm gonna take one more minute, even though I don't have it. Dr. Telesford Kwawi, I wanted to come here with an anecdote about you from high school, sitting in English class, while I kind of messed with the English teacher and you just kind of laughed in the background. You have always been one of the kindest, most thoughtful, most compassionate, smartest people I've ever met. And I've met a lot of smart people. And I am so impressed with your constant generosity to this community and to your colleagues on this board. I just want you to know that as we enter the new Trump era, I feel a lot of trepidation about what comes next, because for the community to not understand the kind of resource they had in you scares me. But I'm also kind of relieved for you that you don't have to deal with this nonsense anymore. So I can come and hang out and cuddle your adorable baby, and you have more time to cuddle your adorable baby. You're amazing. And I'm not just saying that because I was your classmate. I'm saying that because you're the guy who told me about the kid in our class who got killed in the Iraq War. And it was Afghanistan or was it Iraq? It was Iraq, yeah. Right after we graduated, and about how you guys bonded in the swimming pool and how precious of a space that was for you and for many of us because of that. And I'm not dropping the pool because I care about the pool. I'm dropping the pool because talking to you about it made me realize how much of an experience you had in this school system and how important that has been in everything that's guided your leadership and your presence. So I had to come and say that because I don't know if people understand what they're losing here, and I don't think they understand what they've had. So thank you for your service. I truly value you. I hope you get some rest, and that on every Thursday night, you take a drink that you are not here. And I feel the same for you, Aaron. So happy holidays, happy New Year's, everybody. I will keep my wokish self mostly from the board room, but I do hope that in the future you kind of, I don't know, we've got to be more of a community here. And I don't know what that looks like other than to say that hopefully we all can work together on behalf of the kids here. Bye.
Thank you. All right, now we'll move on to our new business. Anybody have any new business? Okay, I'll read a final paragraph then. The Board of Education will meet in public session and hold its annual reorganization meeting on Thursday, January 2nd, 2025 at 6:30 p.m. in the district meeting room at 525 Academy Street in Maplewood, New Jersey, as well as using the online video conference platform. The Board of Education will adjourn to closed session in the superintendent's office to discuss personnel and legal issues, negotiations, and other matters to be announced at a later date. Immediately following the closed session, the Board of Education will return to public session at 7:30 p.m. The community can view the meeting by following the steps which will be listed on the agenda. If there are members of the community who would like to attend the meeting in person, please note that masks and social distancing are suggested in accordance with the guidance received from the local DOH and the CDC. Action will be taken. All right. I'd like to make a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second? Thank you, Board Member Callahan. All in favor? All right, it's unanimous. We are adjourned at 9:25 p.m.